The Brown University manhunt is going to have a similar end to Charlie Kirk's murder. Some might call me crazy. Some may see or already have seen the connection I'm suspicious of. But this is all too similar to Charlie Kirk, but with a different environment. Brown University students are divided on the Israel-Palestine conflict. The school has been posing itself as neutral. Now, in April 2025, Trump threatened to freeze Brown's $510 million federal grants and contracts because of Brown's actions towards students. Pro-Palestinian protests. In July, they reached an agreement. Brown students continued to protest, no matter how many threats they got from Trump, the school, and the Providence PD. At the end of March, Brown University implemented a stricter protest and demonstration policy. This came less than 4 weeks after Trump threatened to cut federal funding for colleges that allowed protests, or as he put it, illegal protests. Since this policy was updated, students are still protesting, but off campus. On October 9, 2025, students and faculty held an anti-compact rally in front of the Van Wickle Gates, which is the entrance to the main campus. It was the students' reaction that Trump's compact for academic excellence in higher education, which they handed a letter to President Christina Paxson's office, stating that she must reject it. On October 15, 2025, Brown University, along with MIT 5 days before, rejected this compact. Now the students, before I say anything, mass shootings, sadly, have become normal in my eyes now. I lived in Virginia when the VT shooting happened. I was 14 years old in my kennel management class, and Sandy Hook happened an hour west of my high school. The 2 students who were killed at Brown have only enraged me the more I learn about them, not because of their political views, but because of the similarities to the past. Ella Cook was the VP of the Republican Club of Brown University and was active in her church back in Birmingham, Alabama. Family, friends, and students have said that she was a fearless student who, even though some didn't agree with her beliefs, they learned a lot from her, and vice versa. She did not shy away from voicing her conservative views and supporting others like her. She was an independent thinker. Muhammad Aziz Mirzakov was a naturalized U.S. citizen from Uzbekistan. He wanted to be a neurosurgeon after he had brain surgery for Chiari malformation as a child. He was the president of the Model UN at his high school and a member of Brown's Muslim Student Association. Family, friends, and students described him as having a quiet willingness to help anyone in need. He would help kids suffering from medical conditions and support and give genuine, heartfelt advice to fellow students. He was full of compassion. The professor of the Econ 101 class in which the shooting took place is Professor Rachel Friedberg. She spent for years at the Department of Economics at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Her research focused on the economics of immigration, including its outcomes and impacts in the U.S. and Israel. How is this similar to Charlie Kirk's murder? Trump met the president of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, on November 6th, which led to the 2 leaders signing an $8 billion aviation deal and a $34.5 billion investment in economic agreements and trade contracts for the U.S., with Trump threatening Brown University and others with cutting their funding over student protests on the Israel-Palestine conflict. It seems somewhat convenient to Noel, who was killed in this class with his professor. The two people who were killed were an active Republican student and a naturalized citizen from a country the U.S. has historically criticized for its human rights, with which the U.S. government is suddenly buddy-buddy, similar to Kirk, who was a young man with strong conservative views and wasn't afraid to talk about them. Like Ella Cook, Kirk also wasn't afraid to criticize Trump, whom many of his followers, including himself, followed over the Epstein files. July 12, 2025 was when the criticism first started and was paused on the 14th after Kirk met Trump. September 10th, Kirk was killed a day after he released his episode Do We Have the Epstein Files or Not? The shooter is also similar to Kirk. Kirk's shooter wore a hat and glasses the day of his death. Tyler Robinson was arrested the next day, but many say it's not him because the administration's claims are inconsistent. Some claim the shooter is a look-alike of Robinson, but Robinson is not the killer. The Brown University shooter, he cannot see a single facial feature. All we have is the outline of their body. The security footage I have seen so far is interesting. There is one home security camera that is clearer than the rest, that the shooter is walking away with their back to the camera. When they're caught on others, we can't see his face. It's grainy and hard to see. I am already suspicious that Tyler Robinson is not Kirk's killer. I'm even more suspicious that the Brown shooter is going down a similar route. The only difference is that the shooter has still not been found. When Charlie Kirk died, it was like the government dropped everything it was doing and found and arrested Robinson the next day. With Brown, Trump has shared his condolences, backpedaled after claiming the shooter was in custody, then said that this tragic event is a school problem and that the FBI didn't show up till after. I don't like that the shooter hasn't been found. I fear that we may never see them, but it's not over and never will be. Why is it that when one of Trump's followers is killed a few months after he first criticized him, and students are killed at a university that Trump would consider his enemy due to rejecting his compact? I fear that in the coming days or weeks, the Trump administration is going to find anyone with a similar body shape as the one in the surveillance footage and say they're the shooter, like with Tyler Robinson at 12/19/25. FBI says they found the suspect and that he's dead. Okay, Fox News, the New York Post, and the Western Journal reported that an arrest warrant was made hours before other major news stations reported on it. All three are supportive of Trump. Other news stations reported about the warrant and when he was found at the same time. Why did the FBI make an announcement about an arrest warrant without saying who it was for and what they looked like? We found all of that out when they found him 5 hours after the arrest warrant was issued. What was going on in those 5 hours? I wish I could get to the center of this Tootsie Pop.